upgrade. Could they take Malik Willis or Kenny Pickett here? It's possible. Matt Rule's on the hot seat. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, so this could be his attempt at a big splash for 22. That's what they have to do. They have to.
But Mel basically suggests if he wants to win now, trade for a veteran. So he's basically saying, go to that Baker Mayfield, Jimmy Garoppolo market and go get this edge rusher.
But that's the problem. Like, look at those. If the team that they are right now, do you think that either Baker Mayfield or Jimmy Garoppolo is saving their jobs?
It probably gives them a better chance to win now. I mean, if you're trying to save your job, what coaches have done in the past is you draft the quarterback, right? But this rarely works, right?
I don't think none of this is going to work. That's the thing, right? You're in this crappy situation where you have no quarterback.
No, you have a better. If you think you're gonna, the Panthers have to show improvement here. So what is that? 8-9 wins? If they have 8 or 9 wins,
do you think either Baker Mayfield or Jimmy G is capable of getting that team to 8 or 9 wins?
Yeah, definitely. In the NFC South,
have you seen that? Have you seen their offensive line?
Yeah, it's better. It's a little bit better. What, they won 6 games last year? They stumbled into 6 games with horrible quarterback play. Whatever they won. I mean, they're picking 6th overall. They didn't win it, but they started 3-0. Yeah, if you have Baker or Jimmy G, you could stumble into 8 or 9 wins in the NFC South. Yeah.
Okay.
You could. So, I mean, if you're just thinking job saving, a lot of people think you draft a quarterback, they'll give you another year. Yeah. Right? That never happens.
No.
Just have the last 2 Bears first round quarterbacks.
They won 5 games last year, 3 of which happened in weeks 1 through 3.
So they're due. They haven't won more than 2 games since week 4. Yeah, they're due. I don't know. Maybe the veterans. Let's talk Trayvon Walker, the actual pick here. So he leapfrogs Kayvon Thibodeau. Again, this dude had one of those amazing combines of all time. He's 6'5", 272. Just to read off some of his measurables. 97th percentile arm length. That matters at the position. 97th percentile 40-yard dash. Overall athleticism matters at that position. Vertical jump, 75th percentile. So his jumps were 70s and 80th percentile. The shuttle, 4.32 is 70th percentile. And then the 3-cone, anytime you can run a sub-7 3-cone as an edge defender, that's how you turn the corner, right? 93rd percentile. This is built in a lab type edge defender.
Also now owner of my favorite ever positive trait from our friend Seth Payne. The former Houston Texans defensive lineman.
That's Houston radio.
Big defensive tackle. In the positives column for Walker, quote unquote, admirable bloodlust.
Admirable bloodlust.
That is a phenomenal descriptor of a player.
That's him describing how he plays the game?
Yes.
It's not like Dracula comp.
No. That's you.
I got worse than that last show. Worse than Dracula.
Grandpa Munster. Admirable bloodlust. That's now one of my favorite ever comments about a player.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good descriptor. So
all that is good. The only question mark is, so why didn't it translate to more pressure and more impact on the quarterback?
So I want to describe from a production standpoint. I've been doing some work here on historic draft classes and all that stuff, and what we've mentioned here quite a bit, our defensive line grades overall, defensive line production from a PFF standpoint translates very well to the NFL.
Can I pause you for a moment? Sure. We got some real breaking news.
Awesome.
On Hard Knocks this year, it is the Fighting Dan Campbells.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Detroit Lions are going to be on Hard Knocks. Now I want them to draft Thibodeau. I want to see the crypto cards.
We should drive up. We should just do, it's only 4 hours away. Yeah. We should drive up to some Lions training camp this year.
Can you imagine that conversation? We could get the whole conversation on camera.
We've generally not responded to Hard Knocks a whole lot. This could give us some content opportunity.
Well, for the first time in a while, there's potential,
There is.
Now, there was potential when it was Antonio Brown plus the Raiders, and somehow they managed to avoid the entire thing. So, who knows, right? The editing in HBO might not be conducive to what we're looking for.
True.
Why not? There's potential there. As long as there's cameras and Dan Campbell, that's a recipe for some magic immediately.
With a nice ascending Detroit Lions roster. Gotta love it. We good to go back to Trayvon Walker then?
Yeah.
All right, so overall PFF grade last year, 71.4. That is not great.
Not even great.
I mean, that's okay for college, right? That includes the playoffs and the championship games and all that stuff. I've seen even people that use sack totals. I don't know. I think Mel said he had 6 last year or whatever. There are people that use sack totals. They're like, oh, kind of underwhelmed. But again, we do it snap by snap. This is 685 snaps last year. He had a 71 grade. Previous year, 318 snaps, a 70 overall grade. So the production for Travon Walker is just not there at a position that really translates to the next level. So I've been doing a lot of work on historically, since we have data back to 2014, what do first round prospects look like? What do players who have gone on to have elite careers look like? And where do current players stack up? Travon Walker is well behind in pretty much everything that is most stable to translate to the next level. Our wins above average metric at the college level translates really well. Our pass rush grade, pass rush win percentage translates really well at the next level. And Travon Walker is like well below recent players who have just been drafted in the first round, and even further below recent players who have become high-end or elite players. Now, all that said, none of this is perfect, right? So the guys who have bucked that trend over the last few years, Danielle Hunter, remember he had a very unproductive pass rush final season at LSU. He was an excellent run defender, though.
He's the classic example of when you point to all this stuff, you're like, you need production, you need the elite, like that's the one guy that's the opposite. That's the guy that anybody arguing against it holds up as evidence.
The other and the other thing about Hunter, and this is why him and Travon Walker are probably the best comps. Excellent run defenders, and we do take Eric Eager's done some pretty cool stuff with combine with measurables and created these combine scores and kind of mapped it to like facets of play, pass rush, run defense, or whatever. One of the things that does translate well is a combine score, and of course Walker's is excellent. So you would need it, and look, we haven't like gone back and changed our process because Danielle Hunter bucks the trend. He is just an outlier in this for us. The other somewhat outlier is Eric Armstead, who played more in the interior at Oregon, has played on the edge in the NFL level, and his production has been excellent at the NFL level. So Eric Armstead and Danielle Hunter have become better NFL players than college players. That's pretty much it. There are very few players that have gone on to become high-end or elite that have rushed the passer as ineffectively as Travon Walker. So picking him in the top 10 or even in the first round, I think is risky. Even Rashawn Gary, who we brought this, that's the other comp, right? A little different stylistically, but Rashawn Gary, great combine, great athlete, didn't have the on-field production. On one hand, it did take until year 3 of his 5-year contract, right? It took him to year 3, but he did break out. So if you're drafting Travon Walker, I do think Gary's more of an outlier, Danielle Hunter's more of an outlier, and that's what you're banking on. And that's what's going to make him one of the more fascinating prospects. Renner still likes him, top 15 or so in this draft, but he'd have to buck some trends. And I think we'll talk a little bit more about Walker as we get closer to the draft, but I think that's one of the early concerns with him from a production standpoint. But he goes at 6.
And there are some solid comps to Danielle Hunter in terms of, look, if you're going to be that freaky outlier, you would better be A, a special athlete, B, a good run defender, and C, have no obvious reason why you can't become a better pass rusher, right? Like those are if that's going to be missing from your game at this point, at the very minimum, there shouldn't be an obvious reason why that's true. So if you're looking at Travon Walker, you can point A to okay, the Georgia defense probably hinders the overall production of each one of these guys because it's just so freaky, right? Look at not only do they have so many of these incredible NFL prospects, like that defense is genuinely like an NFL defense overall.
Incredible. Yeah.
And it turns out once you get them all to like athletic testing, they're all freaks. Not only are they just incredible players and first round prospects and blah, 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 but they're also like 95th percentile athletes.
They all are.
So
incredible.
So it has to hinder the individual production of each of them, right? The fact that they're all together at the same time.
I mean, by our standards, it shouldn't, because we're saying, hey, go win one-on-ones. I think when you do look at Georgia schematically, though, their edges they're not lining up in like wide nines and just getting up the field. And there is a lot of team component to it. You got Jordan, keeping outside contain and various things like that. There might be some schematic explanation for the lack of just pure production for some of those guys, Jordan Davis included. So we'll have a similar discussion though with Davis, right? Why haven't you dominated in our grading system, which does do a good job of translating to the next level? It's a fair question. All right, this is where Kayvon Thibodeau comes off the board now. So the Giants at 5 picked Evan Neal, then they go Kayvon Thibodeau at 7. This is what I'm saying, man. If the Giants come away with Evan Neal and Kayvon Thibodeau, guys that we've routinely mocked in the top 2 or 3,
Yeah, jackpot.
I think the Giants are, and this is a legit possibility.
Sure.
And I love when the new regime, starts in the trenches. You got a tackle and you got an edge defender. 2 massive needs here for the Giants, but also, more importantly, value players.
Yeah, I mean, I've said for a while, I think there are a lot of scenarios where the Giants, quote unquote, win this draft, where a couple of really, really good players at positions of need end up falling exactly where they want them to at 5 and 7, including Thibodeau. The Giants, to me, make a lot of sense to be the team that stops a potential slide from Thibodeau. Who, remember, you don't have to go back very far for him to be seen. He was the guy people thought was going to go number 1 overall in this quarterback-less draft class. It was Thibodeau, not Hutchinson, who was seen as the number 1 overall pick. And then, since that point, Thibodeau hasn't done anything wrong to see his stock slide. He kind of bailed on the combine, midway through it because he was going to go do, half the workouts, whatever, at his pro day. I don't see that as a problem. I was joking largely about the cryptocurrency stuff. I don't think this whole off-field thing is a reason for him to be sliding. Off-field attitude, commitment, whatever you want to describe it. I think that's all kind of invented. And his on-field play, I agree that it's slightly below Hutchinson's, but I don't think it's far to the point where you're he was the number 1 overall pick. Now he's sliding somewhere to the middle of the top 10. So if he ends up falling as far as number 7 to the Giants, that's amazing for them.
Yeah, I'd like to remind people there was a point in Myles Garrett's pre-draft process that people said, he likes to play instruments. As a negative. Likes to play instruments. Hasn't affected him at all.
No, that's, well, I mean, unless you've determined that the rage that's, what kind of music was he playing? Was he
probably Rage Against the Machine?
He was into death metal, that's the kind of thing that'll make you swing a helmet at Mason Rudolph.
Maybe that's...
But if he was a viola player or whatever, that's probably not.
No, I think it's more of given the tone and context of it, I think it was more on the classical music side, which doesn't...
Okay.
And look, you and I talked to Myles over at training camp, right? That was briefly. We talked to him during practice.
Sure.
During a scuffle.
Yes.
He's like,
which he wanted no part of.
He said, I do not want to go to the scuffle.
To be fair.
And within a year, he's smacking dudes with a helmet.
Yeah. To be fair, he would have had to run quite a way to get involved in that.
So he probably just tied. He's not anti-scuffle.
Right.
He's anti-going to the scuffle.
If you want to bring the scuffle to me, I'll jump right in there.
Yeah.
But I'm not running from here to over there to sort out whatever crap this is.
Unlike Will. Will brings the fight to his enemies. Right? He's willing to walk on stage.
He's ready to walk right across that stage and slap somebody upside the head.
Myles Garrett, scouting report, would never go up on stage.
Yeah.
If the stage came to him, though.
Will not go to the fight. Wait for the fight to come to him.
And Myles wouldn't open-handed either.
Closed fist kind of guy?
Closed helmet kind of guy.
True, yeah. Well, the fist would close around the face mask.
True, yeah, closed fist guy, for sure. Anyway.
This is in-depth scouting report.
This is what it's all about. We're working through Mel Kiper's mock draft, having a great time, because it's all about, talking about these first-round options, where teams can go. It's also all about Manscaped, who've launched their ultra-premium collection. Believe it or not, it's for your not-so-private parts. We're talking about a leveled-up hygiene routine with your favorite manly scent. This all-in-one skin and hair care kit for the everyday man covers you top to bottom, head to toe. Manscaped is trusted below the waist. Now trust them with the rest. Join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code PFF. Of course, they give us the 5 things you need to do in order. Hop in the shower, scrub and dub that body with the Manscaped body wash, lather your hair up with the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner to keep your noggin togging sand. Dry off and spray on that hydrating body moisturizer to reinvigorate dry skin. Then put on the Manscaped deodorant for obvious reasons. And then number 5, Pop that Manscaped lip balm on. No one's out here kissing those chapped up lips. Getting dressed after that's optional.